As holidaymakers make their way home. Let's then get an update. Our SABC News reporter Nozintombi Miya is on the ground for us, monitoring traffic flows into Gauteng and joins us from Centurion. A very good afternoon to you, Nozintombi. All right, so as expected, traffic would be quite heavy coming back into Johannesburg as people come back from holiday or their families. Talk to us about the situation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Flo. It has really been quite a busy day from early this morning with traffic, making its way through some of the major toll gates in and around Gauteng, and it really is starting to show that people are starting to waking up to the fact that it is business as usual, back to school next week, and they obviously have to get everything prepared and sorted. And with me to talk a little bit more about some of what's been happening on the roads in Gauteng, I have with me Mr. Selo Marimani, who is the Gauteng traffic spokesperson. Thank you so much, Dr. Selo. You're going to give us a bit more about the ongoings of traffic in Gauteng since the start of the festive season. It's been quite busy.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, obviously it is that time of the year when we are expecting our travelers to be heading back to their destinations, such as homes or so. Our major roads leading into our province are quite very much busy. I'm talking here about the likes of N1 from Polokwane into Pretoria, quite very hectic. The same goes with your N4 to Emalahleni. The same goes with your N3 Durban to Johannesburg. So in actual fact, all our major roads leading into our province, such as your R573 Moloto Road, are quite very much busy. And we are anticipating that we will also see heavy traffic congestion as this week will be coming to a closer. And that's why we are appealing to our road users at large to really exercise care and be vigilant so that they shall all arrive alive. Thank you so much.
Mr. Silo, before we continue, there is going to be a zero tolerance policy that the police have been implementing. What sort of infringements are you going to be making sure you keep a very close eye on?
Well, we've got a number of challenges. For example, one of the problems that we are facing is people over-speeding, and there we are approaching it with zero tolerance. Just yesterday, we have arrested a person doing 233 kilometers per hour on the N4 towards Bronkhorstspruit. I'm talking to you now. The person is behind bars. Now, this is the kind of behavior that will not be tolerated by ourselves as law enforcement officials. The same we will do with people who are drinking and driving on our public road, because see right behind me, we have got our traffic officers in large numbers. We've got some law enforcement operations that we have mounted, but we take cognizance of the fact that, road safety begins with every road user. They need to take care of their lives as well.
It's absolutely shocking the amount of speed that he's doing, and now he's literally going to have to wake up to the fact that he's now behind bars. Speaking of arrests, how many people have you arrested? How many road users have you arrested since the start of the festive season in Gauteng?
Over 200 people have been arrested for various offences. That includes driving under the influence of intoxicating alcohol. That includes your reckless and negligent driving and many other offences which have been committed. And that is why, as law enforcement agencies, we are saying to these people, it is better to comply with the rules of the road. They don't need to be forced by us. But of course, if the situation necessitates that we take people behind bars, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in terms of the roadblocks that you've had, how many roadblocks have you had set up in and around Gauteng, and how many cars roughly have you stopped for stop and searches?
Well, a lot of cars have been so, although I don't have statistics with me in terms of how many cars we have stopped, but let me just tell you about the number of operations. Obviously, we have our normal Okaimola operations that we are conducting weekly or so, and sporadic checks that we are having on daily basis around the province. We do recognize that sometimes, criminals move from one point to the other. When they realize an opportunity where there are no traffic officers, they tend to take their chances, and that's why we are moving our operations from one place to the other. I am not going to divulge as to where we will be. What I can assure you is that we are out in numbers in the whole province to ensure that people comply with the rules of the road. It's better to comply, unlike finding yourself behind bars.
What are some of the more bizarre things that you found in people's cars, aside from alcohol? What are some of the things that you've experienced and witnessed that you want to caution motorists of having when you conduct your stop and searches?
the major problem that we are facing, we still continue to experience overloaded vehicles. You know, people come with these big luggages, and when they are utilizing public transport, then they force the drivers to have these big luggages, and then some of these luggages, they fall off from the road and causing our motorists to veer off, which might lead to an unnecessary crash, which could have just been avoided. So overloading continues to be one of the challenges that we are facing. Over and above that, people sometimes they are having some illicit activities, like we do find drugs or even illegal firearms. But let me tell you, we are not going to leave any stone unturned in order to ensure that perpetrators of these crimes are brought to book.
We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Very insightful information. The Gauteng traffic spokesperson, Tatasilo, just giving us a bit more inside flow where we are standing here in Centurion. We're standing by one of the traffic stops that the Silo was talking about now, ensuring that the motorists do abide by the rules of the road. Their cars are roadworthy, they're not speeding, and there's no drunken driving. It is crunch time. The next few days are going to be critical to ensuring that motorists, drivers and passengers arrive to their destination safely and soundly before the start of the school week next week. Flo.
All right, thanks very much to you, Nozintombi, Miya, our senior reporter there.